Hey cuties, Peachy here. Welcome back to a new video. And in this video, it's going to be a little bit of a different type of video because usually we talk about dolls and this is doll related, so it still counts. But it's a mess. We have some tea to unpack. So let's get into it. So this all kind of started when Haley posted a reel about 4 weeks ago or so, talking about, she was just like with her daughter in like a grocery store supermarket looking at the toy aisle, and she started recording her opinions on some of the latest fashion dolls on the market today, aka Rainbow High, Monster High, so on. So let's see, roll the clip now.
Y'all, maybe I'm getting old, but why is this considered an appropriate doll for a 4-year-old? I mean, she's got like midriff showing, she's got long funky hair, some goth looking earrings. Why do all the dolls for like 4-year-olds look like teenagers? Hoes? Just wondering, just asking. They all look like they're going out to a party, not a 4-year-old's tea party. They look like they're going clubbing. Why is this appropriate for 4-year-olds? I'm just asking questions, just wondering. And I guess if they don't look like hoes, then now they look like they're supposed to be monsters. We got monsters that they want our daughters and things to look like and emulate.
Mommy, why are we not getting any stuff?
Because I'm too busy being aghast at what they're selling our daughters these days. Don't buy this trash. Don't buy this trash. Goth, monsters, vampires, turning our little girls into witches. Sick.
Yeah, so that was the first clip. That kind of didn't go viral, but it did start getting noticed when I believe just a couple of adult people shared it around, and then it got more attention. And as of recording right now, it has 6,000 views, and I checked like hours ago and it had 5,000, so it's picking up, so yeah, it's not viral, but it definitely like at least got attention in the doll community, which is kind of like why this is important. And then Haley, she replied to the many criticisms and negative comments she received on that last reel with a new reel. Let's roll the clip now.
Attention, fellow conservatives, libertarians, parents, anti-woke, anti-pedo, anti-groomer, Jesus lovers. I have a all the dolls on the storefront nowadays being sold, they all look like trashy hoes, even though they're marketed to 4-year-olds. And I was pretty, annoyed about that. We want better role models for our kids, not half clothed dolls that in full makeup that I think are sexualizing our youth. And somehow somebody in the adult doll community, I should say cult, saw the video today and they started sharing it around, and I have angered the demons from the doll community, which is great. I mean, I think it's hilarious. Let them be mad, stay mad. But they've been sending me nasty comments and messages all day long, telling me I'm a bad mom and, making disparaging comments, which, again, I think it's hilarious. But if you agree with me and want to give me a follow and show these demonic doll cultists that they have no power here, that'd be much appreciated. Have a great day.
You can't see me right now, but my face, I have a very confused, befuddled look. I'm aghast, as she said in the first clip. I'm aghast. Did you know that was a word? Girl, I thought she said she was gassy. Like, literally, I was like, what are you saying? Are you okay? Do you need some medicine, girl? Because we all have those days. Anyways, I wish we were talking about being gassy, because that would be literally, anything else would be more comfortable to talk about than what's happening here. So I think the whole situation, the first clip, the response, like, What is she trying to do? Is she trying to prove a point that these dolls are conjuring up demons for kids and like they're turning kids into witches? Her quote, not mine. Like that's what she said, literally in a video. And she called the doll community, I quote, cultists. Like it's a cult. Like apparently the doll community is a cult. What? Does she even know what she's? Does she? I can't take her seriously. Like she. This has to be some kind of like a facade. She cannot be serious. Saddest part is that in the first clip when she's actually at the store, her kid, her daughter, is right there, and she's listening to everything she's saying. Like my worry is not even like what she's saying, like the mom. It's more like how it's gonna impact the kid, because now she's gonna grow up hearing all these things about dolls and about creativity and about certain people and how they dress and about a certain image and like lifestyles and stuff that people have, and that, you know, obviously sometimes dolls take inspiration from that with trends and fashion, and she's gonna grow up learning that all that's bad and like everything that's different is wrong. And you know, just the way, you know, her mom's opinions and beliefs and lifestyle, it's all gonna rub off on the kid, and she's gonna be so influenced by all of it that she's gonna think that what, you know, she grew up with, you know, and what she heard, that's the right and the only way to do things, when it's not really. So that's really sad, you know, because now the kid is probably never gonna have dolls like this, and she's probably never gonna be able to play with dolls and, you know, play out creativity and just be, you know, imaginative, all because her mom believes that Monster High dolls, you know, turn kids into witches and demons. And I mean, does she even know what she's saying? And of course, since she has posted more reels and some stories where she has kept on you know, diminishing and literally just calling the doll community a cult. Like she keeps calling us doll cultists, when it's like, what are you even saying? Do you even know what the term of a cult is? Like, do I need to look it up for you? There's a difference between community, you know, and you cult. So like, oh my God. And also demons and witches and groomers, which I especially don't understand, because like someone pointed out that like majority of people who are in the doll community are minors themselves. So like, who would they be grooming? Themselves? Like what? She even went live at one point, and I'm gonna show a little bit of the live here. It was 60 minutes long, so I'm not gonna show it all here, but I also sped it up so it's a little bit quicker, and I think it just makes her sound more bearable. And it's just funnier. So
context, I woke up this morning and saw all these comments on a reel that I made like 3 weeks ago when I was shopping for a birthday gift for a friend's daughter. She was turning 5, and you know, I was flummoxed and kind of distressed at the state of the doll industry, because I'm going down Walmart and all the dolls that they have for 4-year-old girls look like trashy hoes, basically. And so I made a video calling that out. You know, you got dolls, and it says on there for ages 4 and above. And so you got dolls that like are wearing fishnet tights and mini skirts and crop top shirts and full makeup and like, you know, big earrings and everything. I'm like, okay, well, this is for a 4-year-old girl. Why do the 4-year-old girls need dolls that basically show them in various states of undress, that have full makeup on, that have big eyes, that make them, they're basically like sexualizing these dolls, because it's another way of desensitizing our youth to, you know, what's going on out there. So I don't know, apparently, and I shouldn't be surprised, there's some online doll community that found this video and, you know, has been lighting up my comments ever since, because they're such pathetic losers that they took offense that I didn't like the dolls that were showing our 4-year-old girls. And I think there's one in particular called Monster High, and I don't even know, I've never even heard of this brand before, but now these Monster Highs dolls, they're not just sexualizing the dolls, but now they're supposed to look like monsters, they're vampires, they're werewolves, etc. You know, and it's about injecting that message in. So you got some dolls that are like sexualizing, and then these ones, it's like trying to normalize and glamorize like witchcraft and all this stuff. And desensitize, again, the youth to these counterculture, these basically demonic ideas that they're trying to push on us. I am a Christian woman, and proudly, and my Lord is Jesus, and y'all can hate all you want, and I'm going to stand strong in his love and his faith and his word, and I am going to call this out when I see it. I am going to call out the degeneracy, and I am going to proudly stand against all the groomers that don't see anything wrong with sending these sexualized messages out to 4-year-old girls. I'm proud about that. And the more y'all cry and comment and everything, number one, you're only doing me a favor because you're boosting my algorithm. You're giving me engagement. That's going to make sure that Instagram sees my content, all my anti-groomer, anti-pedo, anti-woke content. And so you're helping me by getting my message out there and Christ's message out there as well. So thank you. I want to say thank you for that. But more importantly, I am just really enjoying this. This is hilarious. Inject this shit into my veins. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is like the most fun I've had in days, getting y'all mad about some, dolls that I think are inappropriate for 4-year-olds. And then so now they've even started making leaving me nasty messages like DMs and stuff. You're a horrid mother. You're a horrid mother. You know what? If these furry loving, they got these doll avatars as their profile pics, they're furries. They live in their own little reality. If these are the people that are calling me a horrid mother, oh my God, that's a badge of honor. That's a badge of honor. I'm gonna print that out. I'm gonna frame it. I'm gonna show it to everybody I know. Look at this furry, this creature that doesn't know boys from girls, girls from boys. I think men can be women and girls can be boys, and that it's okay to teach our kids that, and that it's okay to send our kids these messages. They think I'm a horrible mom. Awesome. Thank you. There's no higher compliment than to know that these people despise me, and I think it's great.
Because I wanted to go to my feed so I could read some of these comments, because they're making just stupid comments like, yeah, well, they're only for 4-year-olds because of the moving parts. So otherwise, if they didn't have little parts, then you'd be okay with this being for babies and 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds. Like, you're not making the argument you think you're making.
I'm going to show the comments here while I talk about everything else. So point 1, she mentions that that Monster High is desensitizing the youth to witchcraft. Ma'am, who out here, which 4-year-old have you seen who's practicing witchcraft in the streets? Like that, because that's what I'm imagining. Like, that's what I'm imagining that she means. Like, oh my God, look at the kids. They're practicing witchcraft because Draculaura from Monster High is a witch / vampire. Like, what are you saying? Witchcraft. And also, kids are so attached to electronics and technology. And like, how some kids have iPads and like iPad kids? Like, they don't care about witchcraft. Like, girl, they don't care nothing about demons, witchcraft, like religion. They couldn't care less about that. You played them some Peppa Pig, they're happy. They're satisfied. They don't care about all that stuff. They're kids. They just want to have a good time. They just want to watch colors and animations and play and be creative and have fun and be kids. So, like, what is she talking about here? Like, kids? Like, is she really thinking that if kids play with Monster High dolls, they're going to suddenly be interested in witchcraft and, like, the occult? Like, what, excuse me? Like, what the actual sweet mercy of Lord Jesus, what is happening here? Oh, also, she keeps calling the dolls hoes. In that first video, she kept calling them hoes, like Rainbow High dolls. Like, she said, if you're not a hoe like this Rainbow High doll, then look at Monster High. They're gonna turn our kids into witches. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's so ridiculous. And like, she kept complaining how the dolls are so sexualized when she's the only one here who's sexualizing the doll. Like, it's not the doll's fault. It's on her because of her ideas that she is, putting on the doll. It's an inanimate object. It's a plastic object. The doll is just there to be purchased. Whatever you think about the doll becomes the reality of the doll. So if you think the dolls are sexualized, then, well, that's what you're gonna think, and that's what's gonna become the reality of the doll. She missed the point of fashion dolls being fashion forward. I mean, it's literally there in the title. They're fashion dolls. Their primary purpose is to be very fashion centric, and obviously they're not gonna put dolls in like a turtleneck that's covering up their whole body and it's all gray and they're covered up, and like, they're not gonna look like nuns, like fashion, emphasis on fashion, so like, I don't know what she wants out of a fashion doll, but clearly I guess it has nothing to do with today's actual real life fashion standards that are age appropriate to how the actual dolls look like. But anyways, I guess whatever she thinks, again, whatever you as the main protagonist in your life thinks of something, that is what becomes, that's what your reality, that becomes your reality. So that's, because that's kind of deep. Because but again, so the from the first clip, like all of the dolls, those were fashion forward. Rainbow High, Shadow High, Monster High, Hello Surprise, Mermaids. Like, I don't see any of those dolls being like, ooh, risky, ooh, skimpy. No. No, they're actually pretty safe, some of them. So like, I also think that's why most companies are also being more safe with the dolls and like designs, because they don't want to have parents be outraged. And I also don't think she's an ally of the LGBTQA plus community, because at one point she refers to some of the doll community's users as creatures who can't tell man from woman, or who can't decide between boy or girl. With that, I'm assuming she was referring to trans people, gender fluid people, non-binary people, and so forth. People who basically just don't conform to the society, standards, stereotypes of gender conforming again, ideologies and identities. Oh, and of course she is Christian. Of course she pulled the Christian card, because yes, of course she is. It's just so perfect. I bet you whenever she does anything wrong and she gets caught, she's like, oh, but God said, oh, but the Bible said, oh, but this is like this. Like, I hate when people who believe in religion, they use that as a getaway, as a way to get away with saying things, and as a way to get away with doing things, and as a way to get away with so many different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh, it's so bad, because I can tell you that there's so many Christian people who are not like this, and it just really paints a bad image for the Christian church. And it just, it's horrible, because most people are nice, and most Christians are nice. There's LGBTQA plus Christians, there's Christian gay churches, like there's so much, and yet here we are, and whenever we think of Christian, we probably think of people like her, because these are always like the biggest, loudest people who have these kinds of opinions and also are Christian. Anyway, I feel like we could keep talking about this for like an hour straight, and it would never end, because this whole situation is just so big. There's so many different aspects to the situation. There's the whole what is appropriate for kids, like doll fashions, which this issue has been around for ages, since the initial launch with Bratz and Barbie, and then there's the whole thing with witchcraft and like what's appropriate for 4-year-olds, like and then there's the whole like her calling us cultists and like these really derogatory and rude, offensive things. Like, no one should be called these things, yet here she is calling them as if it's the truth, because it's her truth. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, we could go on for ages. I'm not mad at her. Like, I pity her, if anything. I pity her daughter, again, because of what I said earlier. So please don't send any hate towards her. That's not going to solve anything, So let's just have a conversation down below. I want to know what you think about this situation. But yeah, I hope it was enjoyable to some degree. I feel like it's just been a mess, this video, but because I didn't really know what to say, or what points, and like how to say certain things. At times I just feel like I'm stumbling upon my own words, but yeah, hopefully it was still okay. I just think this whole conversation is very fascinating, but also, obviously, I forgot to mention this whole thing obviously also plays into politics, and which I don't want to get into, because politics, I just don't understand politics. I don't care. So but this I did care, because she literally called us groomers and cultists and demons and losers. So I had to talk about it. But anyways, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and become a member today so you don't miss out when I post more content like this coming your way daily and keeping you up to date with all the doll tea you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time, stay peachy. Kisses.